Hello guys, welcome to this very hot day. We're literally having 28 degrees right now in the van. You probably can hear the fan going on right now. It is the kitchen fan that's pointing towards the inside to give us a little bit of cool breeze. And peaks down here, I just sprayed a ton of fresh water on her everywhere so she can cool down a little bit too. She has the fan right in front of her. She absolutely loves it. She has not moved an inch today. Usually she's running around a little bit on her couch back and forth, but today she literally just sat down. I rinsed her down as well with a hose pipe earlier, so it is a lot to take at the moment. This is the first heat wave we're having this year, which is absolutely going nuts. It literally is going nuts, and she's trying to clean herself off because my dogs don't like water. So yeah, that's her. That's the weather situation. It is just absolutely mental. Yeah, 28 degrees, and it's gonna go another day or two in this condition, so it is pretty mad. Yeah, even though it doesn't look like it, as I'm kind of a jumper. I just realized, but yeah, it is mad. So what I've planned on doing today is explaining to you the products that I've chosen to go a bit more healthy in my life, to throw as many toxins out of my life as I can, and what I can do money-wise at the moment. So the reason why I've started changing things around and looking into the environmental toxins and the food toxins that we're having in our food is because of my dog, because of his allergies, because of the way it made him sick, like most of the stuff, like laundry detergent and stuff like that, to get him super itchy. And testing out various things with him over the past few years, and going into what suits him best and what's best for his body condition, and what's best for his allergies, and how we can fix it. And all this journey is literally based on my dog's journey, and how much I found out through what's going on with him. And that's basically all guided towards me trying to exchange a lot of things in the food procedure, and like what I'm cooking with, what I'm eating, and ingredient wise, and shampoos and all that stuff. Here is a little collection of the things that have been taken out. So I'm going to show you one by one and explain a little bit to it. I don't even know with which one to start because it's all a bit, there's no order to those. It's just as I grab it. So the first thing is the cutting board. I had a plastic cutting board for years, literally for years. The cheapest I could find for £2 or something. And the scratches and the cracks and all that, it's gone into it super fast. So after I read about what's going on with plastic and that you eat little bits of plastic when they're on the cutting board, I decided I'm gonna go wooden. So, and this one I found used on eBay. It's just a couple pound, and I absolutely love the checkerboard. I love it. So that's one thing I changed, is going wooden board. Alright, let's stay in the kitchen then. What I'm gonna do is, the next thing is using coconut oil and olive oil instead of canola or rapeseed or vegetable oil. I used these before, like every day. I did not even touch olive oil or coconut oil. I use this sometimes for baking, but that was never in my cupboard at all. So I always used all these cheap vegetable oils, and I learned they're not good for you, so I changed to these, and yeah, makes a huge difference, definitely. And I use it for bread making as well, that olive oil. So next thing, changing the salts, going from the cheapest table salt that I was using all the time, literally the cheapest of the cheapest, like with the most volume in it, and learned that this salt is not good for you, mostly because of the preservatives and ingredients that it has with the processing. I switched to Himalayan, pink Himalayan salt and sea salt. These are not the best to change to. There's Celtic salt, I think, is the best, or something like that. But these are the version I basically can pay for right now. So I went with those two. And I use this for bread making too. So the next thing, I went from the cheapest supermarket honey that was not even honey, because when I looked on the label it was made in China, and I'm like, whoa. I already made a reel the other day on Instagram about it, that I was shocked to find out that this is literally processed honey that is not even close to real honey, and I'm like, oh my days. So I went and gone local, which I could find in the area, and that's what I'm buying from now on, is just local honey. And while we're at the cooking, I'm only using wooden stuff now. There is no more plastic in my cooking utensils. It is always just wooden. So the spatulas and the spoons, always wooden. You can use metal spoons or metal spatulas, is all fine. I actually have metal as well, but I'm only going for wooden now with like cooking and things, because it doesn't scrape as bad the surface and stuff. So that stuff, I've used this for years too though. I have had exchanges between plastic utensils and wooden stuff, so it's not really that I was completely out of it all the time, but I used them all together, and now I'm just using wooden stuff and metal. Next thing, the tea. I skip tea bags if I have to buy tea bags or tea from the store and it's not loose tea. I'm going with these tea holders, like tea strainers, and I absolutely love them. Before I had disposable tea bags and they were washable and stuff, but after a while they were just going brown, and because I'm doing sometimes black tea, it was staining the bag because it was white, and that just didn't look good after a while. And I was like, I need something solid that I just can rinse out and clean out and then put back, and that was the perfect solution, really. I think this is the smaller version of the tea strainers, and there's one thing that's bigger, one bigger size. But anyways, I like those. This is a great tub. I've done a reel on this on my Instagram too, back in the winter. I absolutely love it, and I would always go back to that if I have to get another one. Oh yeah, the tea bags, why I'm not using the tea bags anymore is because of the coating that they put on the tea bags. Some companies already now claim that they use biodegradable tea bags that are not sprayed on, but most companies still use tea bags that are sprayed, and when boiling water hits the bag, there's millions of tiny plastic particles coming out of it that you do not see, and therefore you drink all that. And obviously some of you may know what happens when you ingest tiny plastic particles. It either washes out very bad, or it just stays in your body forever. And most people know by now that plastic keeps building up in our bodies because of all the environmental issues that we're having. Again, I'm not an expert, don't count me on that, it's all just my research that I've been doing in the past years. And me sticking to this now, I'm thinking I just need to go with this because it's clear for me it's not good for my body, and I don't know what the ingredients are, and therefore I'm just gonna skip it and use something that I know is safe. So the next thing is homemade soap bars. So I've gone homemade soap. This is for washing hair, and this is for body washing, anything. This is I made with a pour and dry soap, I think that's what it's called. This is a goat milk base, which is very fancy, I think. It does not melt, which is great in high temperatures, but it is getting a bit slimy. So yeah, it smells absolutely amazing. I've done it with castor oil, coconut oil, and a couple of essential oils. And I just let that sit and dry out and cool down and harden. So yeah, that's what it comes down to, and it's lovely. The only downside for this, it doesn't foam as much as I want it to be. I love my foam, and yeah, these just don't foam as much as I want them to. But it's fine. That's probably one sacrifice I have to do with this batch. And I'm just still experimenting around with soaps, for example. I have not found my particular one that's really great, but I just keep experimenting around and see what works best for me. So this won't be the last that I'm trying. Why I went with natural soap bars or do them myself is because the online ones that I've been seeing so far are quite expensive, I have to say, so it does not make the choice easy of which ones to choose, and therefore I tried it myself. That was the only reason why I went homemade. And I obviously read the ingredients labels of the bottles that you can get in Aldi and Lidl and all these cheap supermarkets or the drugstore. They are not nice. It's like you can't speak most of the ingredients, and that is not good. And when you look most of them up, it is definitely not good for your skin. Definitely not. So I decided I'll make my own, literally just to get away from the toxins that I'm putting on myself in form of shampoos and shower gels. Yep. Even though that stuff smells absolutely nice, I learned that this is absolutely synthetic and is not good for your skin. The next thing is face scrub. I made my own face scrub because I've been using a couple of so-called natural brands from the supermarket stores, and it has not worked for me for a long time. Finally, since I've done all my other stuff by myself, like shower gels and hand wash and all that, I've done my own face scrub, which is pink Himalayan salt, a couple of essential oils, and bicarb soda and coconut oil. And I have to keep that in the fridge because in 28 degrees, all that stuff gets runny. Literally. Yeah, so that's what I'm using for face scrub now. Not every day, because it's a bit too rough on my skin because of the Himalayan salt. It's a bit too rough. I didn't use fine salt. You can do whatever grade you want. If you want to use it every day, make it a bit finer. But yeah, that worked for me really good to just clean my skin out every 2 to 3 days. And I just rub that on, and because of the coconut oil, it just melts on your skin. Just rub that in and wipe it off and wash the rest off. Yeah, works absolutely brilliant. And afterwards I just put my own face oil on, and this is now, I ditched the cream. This is basically the next thing I'm using. I ditched the cream that I used from the stores, and I'm using 1 dropper of this, which is castor oil, frankincense essential oil, and I think it's called jojoba, and that's a mixture of that, and I put that on every night, and it works great. I make my own hairspray because I have a lot of dry skin right after showering, and I want to moisturize that quite a lot, and that's what I'm using to spray on it, which is what do I use? Apple cider vinegar mixture with water. So I put that much apple cider vinegar in it and then fill the rest up with water, and then pop a few drops of rosemary oil in it, essential oil, and that's my spray. And I use that almost every day, and makes the itch stop, that's for sure. Super dry skin, that helps. The next thing is I've tried myself on a deodorant. I used obviously a bottle from the previous ones that I bought in the shops. I have to say I'm not very satisfied with this because it is very sticky. It gets very sticky, which I do not like. It's like I haven't washed myself. So that's not very great, and I'm gonna have to keep looking for a better recipe, but I am on my own stuff now, so if it's not this, it's something else. So I still have to experiment with that. Plus I'm trying to make my own deodorant stick and see how that goes. After that I went on to using a lip balm, making my own lip balm, and it's super easy to do. It's literally unbelievable, super easy. So here we are. That's my lip balm there. Super easy recipe. It is literally just beeswax, shea butter, a bit of coconut oil if I'm correct, and some essential oils, whatever the flavor you want, and that's it. Let it cool down and that's your lip balm. Absolutely amazing. No nasties, no additives, no hormone disruptors, nothing. So absolutely fantastic. I keep using it over the last winter already. This is a new tub obviously, but I use it already since the last winter, and it's absolutely amazing. And here we have the next thing. It is my toothpaste. Ditched the toothpaste and making my own now. I never ever thought I'm gonna make my own toothpaste. Never ever in my life. I always had the 40p supermarket toothpaste. The cheaper the better. And when I realized fluoride should not be in any ingredients that you're using, and digged into fluoride a little bit, it is probably controversial to a lot of people. The dentists want you to use it. Holistic dentists do not. They say it's probably better if you do not use it, and it's a very controversial topic. I went with, I think it's better not to use it, so I went with my own, and this is super simple recipe as well. It is coconut oil and bicarb soda and a few drops of the flavoring essential oil that you want to put into it, and that's the end of it. Literally that is it, and I absolutely love it. I have no complaints. It's absolutely amazing. I didn't actually realize I've changed so many things around that I'm talking more than 5 minutes now, but it does. It's strange. It's crazy, but it's quite a bit. It's quite a lot. So that's my dishwashing soap. My first try was Marseille soap. I just forgot the name for a second because it's boiling in here. I can't believe I have such a brain strength to actually talk like this. And that smell reminded me so much of cow poo that I could not use it long term because the smell just stuck. They just stuck as much as I've done the dishes, which is literally every day. I literally stuck with that smell, and I'm like, no, I can't do it. That soap was absolutely amazing. It lasted all my days. I don't want to say anything wrong. At least a few months, that's for sure, because I bought a 600-gram massive square. But I had to stop this because of the smell. I just couldn't stand it. It's unfortunate because it was really good, and I could have used it for a lot of other things. I started using it for my laundry detergent, which was okay, but I would have to make the laundry detergent myself all the time, which was getting a bit annoying because the temperature changes in the van just didn't agree with what I was doing, because in the winter it's gonna get cold and that stuff's getting clumpy. Yeah, it was just not nice. The texture was just getting weird, so I'm like, I'm gonna stop this. It's just not working with the temperatures that I'm dealing with. The dishwashing, I'm just using Ocean Saver at the moment. It's no advertisement. I just chose this one because it was in a double pack and it was the cheapest I could get at that time. So that's why I started using that. I just wanted to trial and error and see what works best. It smells like lemon. It's already yellow anyway. It's the second tub I'm using right now. The only complaint I have with any dishwashing soap that's natural is that it builds a layer on top of the dishwashing water, because obviously I'm not rinsing everything. I have making myself a sink full of water and then wash the dishes in it. So the soap is basically making a layer of soap on top of the water, which is literally interfering with the dishes that I take out. So it's like basically making a film on the dishes sometimes, not all the time, but sometimes. And it leaves a film on the side of the sink as well, on the inside, when I drain the sink. So that's not very good, and I don't know why that is, and if that does it with everything, if every soap is like that. But for me, that is very annoying, I have to say. But otherwise, these things, yeah, definitely work, and I would recommend, no matter what brand you choose. The next things is, as I just talked about, the laundry liquid of mine. And after I've done the Marseille soap as laundry liquid, I went on to buy something else that is a bit more feasible, which is laundry sheets. So that's what this is, and it's basically just sheets. I use about 3 per washing. 3 to 4 depending on how full the washing machine is, and it works absolutely great. I used one that's not smelly, so there is no soap smell, no fresh smell, no smell, nothing smells. So that's why I chose this one. Again, I'm not going for the brand, I'm not sponsored by them. This is just my own research. There are tons of other brands out there that possibly would fall in the category of me buying them, but this was more or less the most feasible for me to buy in terms of budget. Definitely better than the store-bought versions. Just start reading ingredients and you will be shocked of what you find. I have not read ingredients for years, and now you just keep finding me in the store. Whatever I pick up, I'm just gonna read through the ingredients. What's in it? What's the name? Can I spell it? If I can't spell it, it goes back on the shelf. Or if I don't know about what it is, it goes back on the shelf, and so on. So it is crazy. Yeah, sometimes I think I'm a bit like loopy to others, but I don't care. I'm making my own choices, and that's what my life is about. And yeah, for the softener for the laundry, I simply use apple cider vinegar. Just pop that into the top of the softener section and just use that as softening, and it works great. I have no complaints. So easy as, completely swapped, using apple cider vinegar for softener and laundry sheets, laundry detergent basically. And yeah, it is the most non-toxic that I could find. I haven't cleaned that pan unfortunately, but this is cookware, and I'm choosing cookware now, only cast iron or metal. These versions are the most non-toxic and the best for cooking, and I absolutely love them, I have to say. This one in particular I had to learn how to cook things with, because everything I cooked with stuck on the bottom and I had to scratch it all out, and I was just doing my head in absolutely. So what I've learned is that the heat is not getting reflected from it as spread out as it should be, and it's basically too big. That pan is too big for my little stove, unfortunately. So I have to reduce my pan size in order to cook a little bit better, but that's one of the least issues, I think. Right, and here we are with the last of the last that I've chosen to change is I no longer buy bread. I make my own, my little cute bread making pot that I use every 2 to 3 days to make my own bread in. And I just have as well, today on the hottest day I needed to make some more bread, which is absolutely gone up now within the last 3 hours, and that's about ready to go into the oven to be baked. So I'm baking that for an hour and a half, sometimes 2, depending. That's it for now. That's how I changed my things around. I absolutely love my little section of things that I changed around. So you can have another quick look over here. My little natural product section. Right, I think I've talked enough for now. If you're still watching, I absolutely appreciate that you're still here. Yeah, I will keep on sweating now in these 28 degrees. Sun is going down slowly now, and the dogs really have enough as well. It is mad to have the first heat wave like this. It is really mad. My inverter just gone off again. I don't know if you can hear that. If you have questions, just pop them in the comments. I'm happy to read them. As well as tell me your journeys, if you're on the same journey, if you change things around, whatever. I'd love to hear what you've been doing in your life regarding that. Let's have a conversation in the comments. Alright, as I said, switch off and peace out, and I'll see you in the next one.